So we had a short impression about Graz being the second largest city of Graz, a city of culture, of modern arts, of great tradition, cultural heritage, and the only family-friendly big city in Austria. And we got this certificate from our Minister for Family Affairs exactly 1 year ago. So just wanted to show you the minister. Yes, that's Minister Mittelena, who meanwhile is Vice Chancellor of Austria. Perhaps you read in the newspapers. That's Siegfried Nagel, our mayor, who sends you best regards. He has 4 children and 4 grandchildren, and he is very aware of family friendliness. And city councillor and representatives of big companies. And, well, we all were wearing these blue shoes because the ceremony took place in the Children's Museum, and nobody is allowed to wear his shoes when he comes from the street, or he has to wear these blue slippers. So the interests of children go first. We try to improve our family-friendly atmosphere, and as a city councillor being responsible for family affairs, I had a proposal presented in the City Council 3 years ago, and I was very happy that it was accepted anonymously. So I think family friendliness has nothing to do with ideology or political parties, but it should be in the hearts and the brains of everybody. Yes, and 1 year ago we got this certificate, and I'm very grateful to Antje. She presented the whole strategy and the process, the audit process for German companies, and you know, we copied your model of success. Thanks very much. You know, our big sister from Germany, she and her company, so we could copy this strategy, and I won't repeat the structure again because Antje did already. Reconciling family and work and family mainstreaming. This has to be, as I said, in the hearts and the brains of everybody who is working for the municipality, and that's also true for our big companies. And so several companies also got already this certificate being a family-friendly enterprise. The attitude towards measurements in favor of family has really changed. Because when I started being a city councillor 17 years ago, whenever I had a proposal, I was asked how much does it cost. And then I said, well, it's so expensive and so on. But now we are not talking about expenses any longer. When we want to invest into the future of families, it's not a burden to the budget, but a sustainable investment for the future of all of us. And there is one result. Graz has, on contrary to most other communities, a constantly rising fertility rate. We have about 260,000 inhabitants. Yesterday was the first school day again in Graz, at primary schools, and we had 264 more 6-year-old children to start school than a year ago. That means that we have to build kindergartens and schools and enlarge our schools. And of course, we need extra budget for it. And when we started this auditing process, it was very interesting that especially on grassroots level, people were really happy that family friendliness was on the agenda. So NGOs and people from the districts were invited for the meetings, and it was really interesting to hear from them their personal wishes, and I think you have to go on grassroots level and really take serious the needs from everybody. And give people a voice, and not only the grown-ups but also the children. So I showed you a picture from our Children's Museum. We also have a Children's Parliament, where children aged 8 to 14 are invited to the municipal council and to articulate their wishes, and we as politicians really try to fulfill them. We also have a children's bureau that's similar to Ombudsman. It's an office where all the interests of children are on the agenda. It's really a strong lobby for children. And if we have meetings of the Family and Children Intergroup of our municipal council, there are always members of this children's parliament invited to attend the meetings. Just one word to early childcare. So Graz has already reached the Barcelona target. So we have childcare facilities for under 3-year-old children for about 36%. And we offer quite a lot of special possibilities to invest into the well-being of families. Regarding childcare, for instance, I come from the Catholic Family Association, and we offer a so-called granny service. That means that ladies aged 50 plus go to families and look after the children if there is not a personal granny or grandpa or aunt available. And it's a win-win situation, because these ladies say it's wonderful for them to have good contact to the young families and the children, and the young parents are very happy that always the same granny from the same granny service comes to their family. So it's really also a question of trust, and the children are also happy with these grannies. Regarding leisure time, so we have additional offers now. For instance, the municipality, the city of Graz, bought a forest and bought a farm and we adapted it for easy access, and families really like to go there with the children and get close into touch with nature, with animals, with forest, trees, and so on. Of course, we also enforce intergenerational activities. I just want to give one example. This is called Points for Action. It means that young people who go to nursery homes and spend their precious time with older people, drive the wheelchair or read to them, play cards with them, get 1 point for every hour. And they collect these points and they can use them then in a pizzeria or in the cinema or in a bookstall and get a reward for it, for this action, Points for Action. One other thing is very important concerning childcare. We are very keen about availability, affordability, accessibility, and real freedom of choice of the parents, which means that they have the same access to all kinds of, for instance, kindergartens, because about 1/2 of the kindergartens are run by the municipality, but quite a lot of them also by churches and private initiatives. But at every kindergarten, the parents have the same prices and the same quality. And the financial contribution of the parents depends on their income. This was not all the time so in Graz, because about 15 years ago we had long waiting lists for the kindergartens run by the municipality, because there we had the conditions I just described, and we had free places in the private and church-run kindergartens because they were more expensive. And so I also had a proposal in the City Council, and really, again, unanimous agreement that we now have this system that freedom of choice for the parents is guaranteed by this new price policy. We are also very keen to invest into social integration and integration of migrant children, children with migrant background, non-German speaking parents. So, for instance, we have integration assistants who have a migration background themselves, and the municipality pays for them, that they go to kindergartens, to schools, and have a good contact to the children with migrant background, and that they really feel welcome. And we really want to invest into the talents and the strengths of the children. And the second part, which was described in many speeches already, are the family-friendly companies which we support. And we can really prove that this family friendliness pays. It is worth investing into family-friendly measurements. It's not a financial burden for the companies, but just on the contrary, it really pays. And just one example, there are several companies, I have to shorten this now. The Paar company, for instance, they have about 700 employees. They offer an ironing service. So you take your washing with you in the car, and a lady takes it out, does the ironing, and when you go home, all your washing is ironed. Or childcare is offered by the company, participation in training units and celebrations like Christmas, also for the colleagues who are on family leave. Of course, many flexible part-time arrangements, a family day a year when the children and families are invited to come to the working place of the parents. And all these measurements, for instance, led to the situation that the employees of this company have a very low divorce rate, because everybody cares about the colleagues, how they are, and if they need extra help, extra time with their partner. So it really pays to invest in family friendliness, in reconciling family and work, and family mainstreaming is really our main motto for our work. And I keep saying that children are not a burden and career killers at first, but if you see smiling or crying or laughing or shouting children, this must be music in our ears. That's the sound of Europe's future. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Potzinger. You raised very, very important issues. Thank you very much indeed. And of course, we are all happy to hear the good news that the fertility rate in Graz has increased, unlike many other parts in the world. That's very good news. Thank you. Any questions, please?